All right, thanks for taking the time to watch our on-demand demo for our invoice side processing for AP automation for Dynamics Business Central. I'll try to keep it tight here today, but what I'll be going through is our AP processing services that we offer for Business Central, from invoice capture to approval, all the way through integration. We are going to have another video as it relates to the payment side, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. We do think that the accounts payable automation paradigm is shifting, and we're really trying to build a solution that will feel like a service to you, and it's something that you can scale up and down based on your actual needs. And really you can use as many features as you need to try to automate things and get as close to you can as fully automating your accounts payable. So how do we do that? The first step in our AP process on the invoicing side is fully AI powered capture. That capture isn't going to need templates. It's going to learn as time goes on. It's going to keep getting better. I'll show you some real world examples of that in the demo here. Once we've captured that invoice data, we'll send it out for approval with our automatic routing engine. That can be based on anything that's captured on the invoice. And that approval process is going to be super easy to use. It is fully web-based and really accessible from anybody who has a web connection. Finally, we're going to sync that data directly into Business Central, as we do have a native integration in Business Central. So why is our AI capture better than the competition out there on the invoicing side? First off, it's got unmatched accuracy. 99% of the invoices that you send in are going to be zero touch. They're just going to be right. You don't have to manage templates. You're not going to have to tell the system where to look for a vendor, a purchasing amount, anything like that. The system will handle that all automatically. It does learn in real time as well. So that's something else that you don't have to worry about. Just go about your business and the system will continually improve. And we do have the ability to capture over multiple locations as well. So we can read ship to addresses and do some really cool stuff with that as well. The routing, like I talked about, will route based on anything that we've captured. We do have lots of rules around multi-locations too. So if you're a multi-location facility, our product is designed specifically for you. Approval will be done on the web. We do have approval out of email as well, if you don't even want your users to have to log into a website. And finally, our BC integration is natively available on AppSource. It'll work with a standard BC workflow. You won't have to add any weird third-party integration to do so. So for the actual demo itself, I did send in an invoice for processing into our data capture system. We will set up an email address for you, or a set of email addresses specific to your company, where you can send your invoices in, and anything forwarded on to that address will be captured automatically. So that's the primary way to get invoices into our system. We do have some other options, but that's usually the best way to do so for most people. So if I look at one of our invoices here for Graphic Design Institute, this is the invoice that I just submitted to our system for processing ahead of this live demo here. So as you can see, I did not submit a particularly easy to read invoice to this process. It's a crappy print. I crumpled it up. I took a photo with my smartphone and I sent it into our OCR, and we were able to capture all data off of that invoice that was necessary based on this. So it's not even like a human read or a software readable PDF in the sense that you can like copy and paste things from it. This is just an image. PDFs work great too. But based on that, we were able to capture all of the data necessary to make an actual transaction that was sent out for approval. So one of the ways that our system is able to be so accurate with our capture is we are going to be syncing your vendors, your chart of accounts, and your dimensions with our system in real time in the background. So as long as you have that data up to date in Business Central, we will be syncing that across automatically. And then our OCR isn't just doing a scrape and hope for the best. We're doing a best match, picking what vendor it should be based on the closest match on this. We can do multiple vendor addresses. We can do multiple remit to addresses. We can set up different purchasing defaults, GL account defaults, different terms. All of this is going to be captured automatically. So as you can see, we have a valid transaction in our system, And all we had to do to get all of this data captured, including dimension coding and an amount breakout, was send that to our OCR system. So once we've captured it, this is how invoices will look in our system during the approval process as well. As you can see, I am the approver on this invoice because I've got an approve button on it. As I'm logged in, I can also see here that I have one invoice requiring my approval from my notifications icon here. And we are also going to email out those approvers to let them know that they have invoices to approve. You can set up whatever frequency you want those to go out. You can determine the types of notifications that you want. But all approvers will be notified, and they will all have access to this information while they are making their approvals in our system. The workflow engine itself is super capable. We will help you build that as a part of the initial process. If you've ever tried to use the Business Central workflow where you have to do complicated like trees and rules and things like that, our system is more of a what you see is what you get style editor. In my simplistic world, I just have one approver in here, but it really is as easy as being, all right, I want to have an approval based on a specific vendor. We've now got a stage added to our system based on vendor, and I can add individual rules to that. So if we have a certain vendor like Ace Travel or something like that, we are able to do so directly. And any rule that we add in here will then be routed for approval. We do support either or approvals, lots of options on what we can do with our approval engine. And like I said, we'll be happy to help you out during that process as well. So for my actual approval process, I can go to my invoice queue here. This will be all of the invoices that are in my queue that are going to require my approval. When I navigate to the first one, I'll have a list of everything that is required from me. In this case, I only have a single invoice that's going to require my approval. I can simply approve this, enter my approval notes. If I need to make an adjustment, change how it's coded, make a modification to it, I can do so. I can also have a discussion. I can tag people, send it elsewhere to ask questions. Really lots of options on what I can do. But for the vast majority of invoices and the vast majority of people, all you're going to need to do is review it, check out the PDF, make sure it's broken out the way that you want it, and then go ahead and approve it. So once I've approved that invoice, that was the only one in my queue. So that invoice is now fully approved. And when it's in that fully approved status, it's ready for export over to Business Central. So as an approver, my job is done. As like an accounts payable type user or an admin type user, I have a full history of all invoices that are going to be processed by our system. I can filter this data, search through this data, look up anything, pull old records. So if I want to check out a invoice from a while ago, I have the option to do so. I'll be able to see all of the coding, all of the original attachments. I'll have access to lots of data for looking up whatever I need. I will also have the ability to run reports from this page. So if I get a custom list of what I'm looking for, I can click this export data to Excel function. That'll send it out to Excel directly. And I can get a nice easy flat file. We do have a bunch of built-in reports as well too. So we can run accrual reports, aging reports, invoice notes, invoice backup reports, reports of what invoices are in each individual user's queue. And you'll also have access to a dashboard, which will give you useful info on where invoices are, whose approval queue they're in, how many have been approved, how many payments versus invoices are currently pending, and how long they've been sitting there. Makes it really easy to get a snapshot of our system or your accounts payable system and figure out exactly what's going on. So that functionally is the capture and routing out for approval. Now, that's all well and good, but if we don't have the integration in Business Central to back it up, you're probably going to end up creating more work for yourself in the end. So we do have a native integration directly with Business Central. Like I mentioned, we're already going to be syncing those vendor names, vendor addresses, default codes, default dimensions. All of that is still going to take place in the background, but what you'll be able to do is sync in your invoices here. So we'll as a part of like setting up our system, it is available on AppSource. You'll just go to AppSource and run through our installer. We do have a setup wizard to take you through the process as well to make it as easy as possible. But once it's set up in your BC system, we'll add the option right to this purchase invoice page, which is import Fidesic purchasing invoices. And this is going to go prompt our system for everything that has received an approved status and import it directly. So we can see we just added that invoice that we just took a look at here. This invoice is going to have all of the data that was captured in our system populated automatically. We're also going to add that attachment in here, so that JPEG that I showed you earlier, that's available to you. That'll be added directly to the transaction in GP. All of the line item level data will also be entered on this as well. So if you need to update anything on here, you have the option to do so, but all of this is going to be entered. We see that it's the same department, same total amount, same GL code. Everything was entered automatically. You didn't have to key any of this information in. All you had to do was send that data to Fidesic. So at this point, functionally, this is very similar to a invoice that you entered manually. All you have to do at this juncture is post this invoice, and that invoice will go through the standard posting process, and now you're ready to pay it. So that's the short 10-minute version of our invoicing demo. Obviously, there's a lot more details I could go into. If you would like to set up a custom demo, please do so. You can just go to our website, fidesic.com. There's lots of options to sign up for demos and get in contact with us. I would encourage you to do so. And thanks for taking the time out of your day. And if you're interested in the payment side, check out wherever you found this. I have a feeling there will be another video on the payments piece as well. So thanks for your time.